Welcome to this 50-minute intermediate yoga practice. Begin in a cross-legged position and place one hand on your heart and the other on your belly. Close your eyes and take a moment to connect with yourself and your breath. As you sit comfortably in this seat, elongate your spine, draw your shoulder blades back and down, and notice your breathing. Begin to breathe into this hand at the belly, looking for the sensation of expansion, and bring your awareness up into your heart space, where the second hand resides at your chest. Breathing all the way up towards your chest and emptying back down towards the belly. Beginning your practice, finding an intention. You might just choose one word that you'd like to walk out of this practice embodying or feeling. One word like love or gratitude, connection. To feel connected to yourself, to feel connected to others, to feel more loving towards yourself or others. Whatever that intention is, just welcoming it to your heart space now, allowing it to be a contemplation to show up between the poses or throughout the practice itself. And as you begin to find that intention, you can just take one more deep breath in and a long breath out. And then just place your hands on your knees and start to circle and stir in circular movements, opening up the lower back and the muscles which surround the hips and glutes themselves. You can circle clockwise and you can circle anti-clockwise, just allowing for that first momentum of movement to work its way through your body. Allowing this movement to be intuitive and instinctive. You can take the circling motion fast or slow. Breathing in as you begin to now sweep your arms up above your head, and then exhale, hinge forward from your hips so you can feel the stretch opening up the hip extensors at the back. Taking a deep breath in and a long breath out. Another deep breath in and a long breath out. Beginning to now wander your hands over towards the right side of your mat, and you should feel the stretch start to open up the left side of your hips a little bit stronger. Breathing in and breathing out as you wander your hands back through the center and over towards the left side of your mat, noticing the stretch opening up the right side of your hips a little bit stronger. Breathing in as you draw back to center. And then from here, reach your arms all the way back up once again. And then exhale, hinging forward. But this time, just check that your feet are crossed the other way. So whichever foot was ahead will be behind, just to alternate the stretch a little bit. You can wander your hands over to the right, back through center, and over to the left. And once you've finished stretching there, you can come up onto all fours, preparing for cat-cow. And we'll begin just by creating figure eight sensations, or the movement that mirrors a figure eight from your hips all the way up through towards your shoulders. So while you're creating these figure eight circles, you might move up towards the right shoulder, right hip, and then left hip, imagining that sort of figure eight or infinity symbol. And just breathing and moving fast or slow. After a few rounds of that, you can then dome out the upper thoracic spine, tuck your chin to the chest, hug the belly to the ribs, drop your hips as you lengthen and look up. Breathe in, arch your back, hug the chin to the chest and belly to ribs. Inhale as you lengthen and look up, releasing the lower back. Exhale, arch your back and tuck your toes as you press up and find your first downward facing dog. Pedaling out the feet as your sit bones ascend nice and high, spreading through the palms, and it's almost like you're jogging through the calves and hamstrings. Beginning to elevate both heels at once, and with the heels lifted, fold your chest further back through towards your thighs. Lower your heels to feel that stretch intensify in your calf muscles, and then lift up onto the tippy toes just once more. With those heels lifted, again, actively fold the chest further back, creating a more of a pyramid-like shape. Staying elevated, travel into a high plank. Ground your knees, lower your chest, your chin, all the way down, and glide through to cobra or upward facing dog. Sinking back towards child's pose, take a full breath in and a long emptying breath out. You might like to wander your hands over to the right side of your mat as the left side seam opens. Back through center and then over to the left side of your mat as the right side of your body opens. Wander your hands back through to neutral in the center. Tuck your toes and return back through to downward facing dog, like a pyramid. The sit bones lift high and your chest folds further back through towards your thighs. Deepen your breath. Your feet are still about hip distance apart, and you're walking now all the way towards the top of the mat to find this forward fold position. Allow your knees to bend and your chest to rest upon your thighs, and you can catch your elbows, relax the back of the neck, the face, and the jaw as you feel that stretch intensify. Taking one more big breath in and a long breath out. From here, release your right hand and bend the right knee as you sweep your left hand up above. You'll feel a twist through the midline. On the next exhale, alternate as you release the left hand down towards the earth. Fingertips might find the mat. Bend the left knee and sweep your right hand high, stacking the wrist over the shoulder and shoulder over wrist. Breathing in and exhale, come back into your folded position. This time, catch a bind behind you, either in reverse prayer or binding the hands, and glide up into chair pose. Exhale, fold forward, return to your bind. And inhale, release the bind, glide back up to chair, and then find a standing position. Diving forward, back into the bind, and folding from the hips. One more round of chair, rising all the way up, and then just standing. You can catch the bind once again, open up your throat, open up your heart, and then rest your hands in prayer. Sweep your hands up and hinge forward from the hips, forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift as you lengthen. Press the palms to the mat. Walk, step, or jump back towards your high plank, and lower through either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, which resembles a push-up. Up dog or cobra, the thighs stay lifted. We tuck our toes under and we lift out of the shoulders. Exhale as you fold back through to this downward facing dog variation once again. Connecting with your breath, knowing that down dog is considered a resting pose, but if this feels too much, you can always choose child's pose instead, resting down on the knees with your arms extended. Taking a few more grounding breaths in and out. Breathing in and out. Begin to walk back through towards the top of the mat and find another forward fold. Take another breath in and a long breath out. Breathing in and breathing out, straightening the legs if it feels comfortable to do so. And then taking another twist. Right hand finds the mat, right knee bends, left hand extends, and switching. Left knee bends as right hand extends, and switching. Hinge back into your fold, catch your bind again behind you with either reverse prayer or the bind, and return back to chair pose, Utkatasana. The inner thighs hug, your glutes are on, and we hinge forward back into our fold with or without the bind. Breathe in, return to chair, Utkatasana, and then exhale, come to stand. Release your arms by your side and catch that bind behind you. Open up your chest, open up your throat, open up your heart space. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, reach your arms up and hinge forward from your hips back into your folded position. Release your arms, walking or stepping back through to your high plank position. Again, option to take chaturanga like a push-up, elbows bend towards you, or knees, chest, chin. Finding your up dog or cobra variations, which is a back bend, opening up the chest, lifting out of your shoulders. Fold back to either child's pose, this kneeling resting position, or choosing a down dog instead. Always taking the time to just listen to your body and choose whichever variation feels right. So taking a few breaths in either or resting pose, and then meet in down dog as you sweep your left leg high and bend the left knee, finding a hip opener. Breathing in and breathing out. Eventually you'll step the left foot outside the left wrist and find a lizard low lunge. If you can manage to keep the right knee off the mat, do so, and you'll just pivot back and forth on the toes. Take one more big breath in, and then eventually do ground the right knee. You're going to windmill that right arm around and see if you can catch the left toe. So it's the left hand that windmills around to catch the right toes behind you. So you're in this sort of twisty bind, leaning into the right hand. Release that, and then ground your hands inside that front left knee and find Skandasana, surfer's lunge, bending into the right knee, left toes off the mat. And then we shift sides, bending into the left knee, right toes extended off the mat. Alternating, you can take this movement fast or slow. It's just like a squat in one side. It's called surfer's lunge. We'll be doing a few rounds of these. Eventually, bring your hands back through center inside that front left foot. Take the left forearm to the left thigh, and this time windmill your right arm around. So big circle, 360-degree shapes from the right shoulder. You can just follow the hand with your gaze. The right knee is grounded on the mat, and you're anchoring down the big toe on the left side. Taking another big breath in, and a long emptying breath out. We eventually ground our hands back inside the foot, and we will return all the way up into a warrior two. So windmilling that right hand behind you, left hand ahead of you. Power through the left knee and track the knee towards middle toes. See if you can concentrate on the energy of your legs here, like you're pulling all the energy up the earth through your body, up towards your core, your chest, and your arms. You want to maintain the focus of a warrior. Breathe in as you begin to flip the front palm and glide the back hand down your leg as you now open up the side of your body. Try to maintain the bend in the front knee as you return back to warrior two. Taking that front left forearm to the thigh as right arm sweeps over and beyond. So you're finding a stretch to the second side, but not leaning too heavily on the left forearm. If you do tend to lean, you can sweep the arm out ahead of you, like so. Glide back, reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale, frame your front foot and step back through chaturanga, like a push-up. Bend your elbows towards the waist as you slowly lower. Up dog, your back bend of choice where thighs are lifted, toes tuck under. And then return through to downward facing dog. We'll work that little flow through the second side. So just taking a breath in as you sweep the right leg high, bend the right knee, find your hip opener. And then on the next exhale, you're preparing to swoop that right foot outside the right wrist. So gazing forward, take your time, and you're back in your lizard lunge. As you find this one, again, we're starting ideally with the left knee off the mat, but if you need to ground it, you can. And just pivot on the toes if you do have that back knee elevated. Eventually, ground the knee, and we're windmilling the right arm around to catch the toes behind you as you bend that left knee. So you'll be leaning into the left hand, but angling your right knee towards the right side, and you'll feel this opening in the shoulder. Take a deep breath in, a long breath out, release the stretch, and then we're lifting all the way back through to find Skandasana. Bending the right knee, lengthening the left leg, toes off the mat, alternate. Feel free to move through this particular shape as fast or as slow as you like. You can keep hands in prayer in the center, or you could ground your hands down towards the earth. Taking about one more big breath in as you frame that front foot and prepare to ground the back left knee as the right forearm finds the right thigh, and we now windmill this left arm around and behind. taking about 3 more circle movements, aiming for that full range of the shoulder joint, 360 degrees. You can follow your hand with your gaze if your neck allows you to look that way. And your palm is generally sort of facing open towards the side of the room. Eventually, you might bend that knee, rotate the forearm in, catch your little bind for a moment in time before releasing it, and then windmilling the same left arm all the way around to eventually come to stand in your warrior two. Eye gaze over that right index pointer, bend the right knee, track the knee towards middle toes and get low into your legs. Feel the energy being pulled up from your legs towards your core and arms. Breathe in, flip the front palm and reverse your warrior. Glide the back hand down your thigh, feel the side seam opening up. Breathing in. And then exhale as you come through for extended side angle. Right elbow, right thigh, top hand sweeps over. And notice this sort of side angle line from that top left arm radiating down towards the left toes. Breathe in, reverse it once again, maintaining that bend in the front knee. And we'll do one more round to return all the way and frame the front foot. Taking another round of chaturanga, like a push-up, up dog or cobra, breath in your back bend, returning to downward facing dog or child's pose if you're feeling it a little bit more right now on that breath out. Take a few big breaths in and long emptying breaths out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Taking the time to witness the effects of all these different asana movement shapes upon your body, your heart, your mind. And then breathe in as you sweep the left leg high, bend the left knee, find your hip opener, preparing to flip your body into wild thing. So we activate our glutes, we open up our chest, we stabilize with the left hand. And you should feel all the energy rushing up towards your heart, your chest, opening through the lungs. Flip back and then find side plank. So grounding the left arm, right hand stacks in line above it. See if you can just stay there as you are or hover the right leg and you might even bend the right knee, bringing it in. Take a full breath in. Release the right leg and flip back for Chaturanga Dandasana, your push-up like pose. Breathe in, take your back bend, up dog or cobra. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg sweeps high. We're bending the left knee and we're working that little flow through the second side. Flip your dog, wild thing. Activate those glutes, feel the chest opening, heart space, energy moves in. Flip back. For side plank, right hand lands, stack your feet, hover the left leg. You might bend the left knee, even bend the left elbow as the leg hovers for a bit of strength and stability and balancing. Then release, come back through to center, take chaturanga, up dog or cobra, inhale, and exhale, returning to downward facing dog. Inhale as the right leg sweeps high, leading. Bend the right knee. And then step it through in between your wrists. Rising now to lead the right forearm upon the thigh. And you're in this deep high lunge. The left hand sweeps all the way over and around. So it's similar to what we did before, but this time your back knee is not on the mat. If you do need to ground it, that's fine. But try to stay in this high variation if you can. It's a lot more challenging. Eventually you'll lead yourself up with those windmills up to warrior two again. So it's similar. Gazing over that index pointer, breathe in, lengthen the front leg, preparing back for Skandasana, surfer's lunge. Bend the back knee, extend the right leg, and then alternate. Bend the right knee, extend the left leg. Switching side to side. Fast or slow. You can even bring in these flavorful sort of Skandasana arms, extending them as you maneuver from side to side. Keeping the connection to your breath and the awareness upon your body, moving at your pace through the motions. Eventually, you'll sort of find your way all the way back to the front, and then we'll rise through chaturanga, up dog, and then return to downward facing dog. You can choose child's pose here. Take a big breath in. Long breath out. Left leg sweeps high. We bend the left knee. We find our hip opener. And extend that left leg, ready to step the left foot outside left wrist. Take the left forearm, left thigh. Try to keep the right knee off the mat nice and high. Deep lunge. Radiate the right arm around and moving through that windmill motion. You should feel the energy through your legs. It's quite a strong one. Gazing back behind your shoulder as you work through it. Taking about 2 more big breaths. And then eventually this leads you up to Warrior 2. You're gazing over the left index pointer, powering through the legs, focusing on that intensity that you can create through the legs, through your focus, eyes gazing forward, hands to heart, and lengthen the front leg, tippy toes, hip, lift up off the mat as you bend the back knee and alternate. Left knee bends, right toes lift up as they extend. Skandasana, second side. Working through fast or slow from side to side. Listen to your body, perhaps bring in the arms. Taking about 1 more round of breath before returning through to the front. So bend the left knee, step back through down dog, take chaturanga, up dog or cobra, inhale, and return to downward facing dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Witnessing the effects, witnessing your intention, witnessing all that's present for you in this moment. You might even contemplate all that you're grateful for. Breathe in, the right leg sweeps high to 3-legged, and this time you're tiger curling that knee in towards the nose. Holding it there, take a single or traditional chaturanga like a push-up, tiger curl the knee in again, and then take your single-legged push-up for 1 more round. Tiger curl to single-legged or traditional push-up. Then sweep that right leg high for 3-legged dog. Deep breath in, tiger curl the right knee in for your half pigeon. So the knee's sort of tracking to the right wrist. Your hips are square and level. You can sort of press up onto the fingertips, opening up the chest. Option is stay here upright for a few breaths. And then even open your arms wide to the side or just sort of stay up on the fingertips elevated. We're preparing to do this maneuver, which I call primming the pigeon, which is where you take your fingertips sort of wider than your mat, and you're in these Hasta Bandha fingers, which fingertips elevated, hovering the chest on the exhale. Breathe in as you sort of elevate back up on the inhale. Hovering the chest. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hover. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hover, and then begin to ground all the way down. So you can extend your arms now, or you could just rest on the forearms and feel into the stretch along the outside seam of the glute. With this one particularly, you really need to listen to your body. If you do find that you get pain in the knee, you want to be flexing the foot or just come out if it doesn't feel suitable for your body. If you get pain in the knee, we don't want that. It's a red flag. Eventually, you'll just find your way back up and out. Press back to downward facing dog, and we'll do that little flow to get us in. Ready for those push-ups. Breathe in as you begin to lengthen in your downward facing dog and take a long breath out. Feeling the space on one side you've newly created. And then when you feel ready, we will begin to sweep the left leg high and tiger curl it in for 3 rounds. Take your single leg chaturanga, tiger curl, exhale. Inhale, single leg chaturanga, tiger curl. 1 more, single leg chaturanga. And then sweep the leg high for 3-legged dog, so straight up above you, to track it through for your half pigeon, second side. Knee towards left wrist, hips square and level, primming that pigeon so you can sort of rise up onto the fingertips, open your chest, maybe even open your arms nice and wide, or just sort of stay upright here, folding your chest down towards the mat, lifting it up. Folding down halfway, lifting it up. Folding down, lifting up. Before eventually just coming down once again when you feel ready to ground in your half pigeon. So the forearms will find the mat or your arms will fully extend. Your hips are still ideally level and square, and you don't want to just be sort of falling over to the left side unevenly. Just be wary of that as much as you can. It doesn't matter if there's sort of a bit of a activation or a lift, so the bottom of your pelvis isn't meeting the mat. That's totally fine. Just look for those subtle cues. Your body will give you that awareness more than I can teach it in this moment. So easing out when you feel ready, press back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in the stretch and then sweep your right leg high once again. This round, tiger curl the knee in towards the nose and then back to three-legged. Tiger curl the knee in towards the nose, back to three-legged, and this round you're using that curl just to step straight through for your high lunge. Nice work. Inhale as you rise up. And exhale. Take the right hand behind you, left hand ahead. Breathe in, lengthen the legs and the arms straight up into crescent. And on the exhale, right hand behind, left hand ahead. Good. Inhale, both hands meet in the middle, lengthen. Exhale, right hand behind, left hand ahead. Lovely. Then hook the left elbow to your right knee and press your palms together into the Anjali Mudra or prayer. Focus on your core, sort of twisting the torso on this new trajectory to the side while your hips are still square to the front, and lengthen your left leg. Option to extend your arms here if that's possible. You'll need your core to stay active to maintain balance as well as grounding down that big toe. If you fall out, don't worry, just try your best to come back in. Okay, we're rising back up into our high lunge. So breathe in, hand sweep up, and then we'll move back towards Skandasana. Another one, I know. So hands towards your heart. We're going to pivot into our back foot. So bend the left knee and lengthen the right leg. And then just as we've been doing, we'll shift side to side. So moving through as slow or as fast as you'd like to go, bend your right knee, lengthen the left leg. Notice how my tippy toes sort of tip up off the mat. You can go as low as I'm going, or you could sit a bit higher in these. Eventually the left hand shoots forward, right hand behind. Sweep both hands all the way up to the sky and we'll wash it away. Frame the front foot, take Chaturanga Dandasana, up dog or cobra, your back bend of choice, and find your way back to downward facing dog. And as you meet in down dog, take a few lengthening breaths. And then step, walk, or jump your feet to the front. And return back to downward facing dog. Sorry about that. Breathe in, sweep your left leg high. Folding the torso through to the thighs, tiger curl the knee in. Second round. Inhale, left leg sweeps high. Exhale, tiger curl the knee towards the nose. And then this round, you're getting ready to step that left foot through between your wrists. So we're going for the same flow we just did, second side. Breathe in as your hands sweep all the way up, and we're ready for this twist. So on the next exhale, you're going to sweep left hand behind, right hand ahead. So it's the opposite to the leg ahead of you. Inhale, hands lengthen to the middle. Exhale, left hand over your shoulder, right hand ahead. Good. Inhale, both hands meet in the middle. Exhale, left hand over the shoulder, right ahead. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Take the right elbow outside the left thigh. Find your prayer. Twist from your torso and your core. Keep your legs square and straight to the front. Option to extend your wings or open your arms. Anchor down that big toe and try to keep your right leg as straight as possible. From here, frame your front foot. Sweep your hands back up to crescent. Preparing for another round of Skandasana. Hands to your heart. We're going to pivot on our back foot, so our right toes turn wide. We're going to bend that right knee, left toes lift up off the mat in an extension. alternate side to side. You can maintain hands in prayer or keep them down towards the earth to help you to maneuver and work your balance. With this one, again, just take it to your pace, work with your breath, go slow with your body, perhaps open your wings, opening your arms, or just keeping it as it is. Your awareness is down in the hips and that mobility through there, and you're still sort of maintaining a gentle bit of core. Sweep your right hand back, you're going to shoot it forward, left hand shoots behind, back into that twist. Right hand sweeps up, left hand follows, and we'll frame our front foot and find our way out. Return through to downward facing dog. Take a chaturanga, up dog or cobra in. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose. Resting there, feeling the space you've newly created there. Coming back to this inner landscape of your body, to all that's present, and all that your body might be speaking to you through sensation. What is the language of your body saying in this moment? So from here, take a few more deep breaths and just allow that inner exploration to take hold. You might like to be here with me in down dog or just rest down low in child's pose. Eventually we will meet in down dog and sweep the left leg high. Step the left foot outside the left wrist and right foot will follow. So you end up in this yogi squat variation. And we'll just kind of ground here for a little while as well. So you can widen your knees if that suits and use your elbows to sort of open the knees out, keeping hands at prayer, and lengthen through the top of your head so you're finding this length through the spinal column as well. This is actually known to be one of the most beneficial yoga postures there is, so feel free to just hang out here if your body is happy to do so. Deepening your breath and focusing on breathing from your belly up through towards your heart space, your chest and your lungs. You might even close your eyes down and just witness the sensations that come up for you in this one. Eventually we will press into crow pose. So with crow, you're lifting your sit bones, your hands sort of resemble a chaturanga, so there's a bend in the elbows. You balance the thighs onto the triceps and then you practice just sort of jumping back from crow. If you didn't manage that jump back, all good. We're meeting in toe stand to take an eagle arm. So the knees are bent, we're up on our toes, we're hooking the right elbow underneath the left, and then seeing if we can catch the left wrist with our right hand. You should feel an opening through the shoulders and the chest, but also through the front of the thighs. It's quite intense for the quads. So just breathing deeply here, remembering that this too shall pass. It's only temporary, as are all of the challenging things in life. Taking a big breath in as you open your wings, try to maintain the toe stand, but then switch it up. So take the opposite, I think it was left elbow underneath right this round, and just feel that opening through the chest, back of the scapulars, your shoulder blades again. Keep breathing deeply from the bottom of the pelvic bowl up into the belly, up into your chest. Notice where the sensations are landing or moving or shifting. Fun fact is that this particular bind in the arms, it is a heart meridian and heart chakra sort of activator. It works with the energy of the heart. So taking your hands now into your lower back, pressing up into the knees, and either keeping that position with a supported camel, hands on lower back, or release them from the lower back to your toes like I have, and take a deeper variation of camel. Another heart opening pose. Breathing in as you feel the magnetism of your heart sort of magnetizing forward from that heart space region. And on the exhale, just release carefully, bring your hands back to the lower back and eventually back to prayer at your heart as you rest in kneeling Virasana or Seiza pose. Witnessing the effects of the back bend you've just moved through. And staying with those deeper breaths in the moments in between. We'll take about 2 more deep breaths in and long breaths out. From here, we're moving into frog pose. So shifting forward onto all fours, drop down onto your forearms, widen your knees and turn your toes out wide. As you find this one, you want to start sort of on the forearms and then pivot your body weight back into the hips so you feel the opening through the inner thigh region. You're in control of the intensity. So if it gets too intense, the first thing you'll do is sort of shimmy your body weight forward back into the forearms again. Otherwise, if you want more intensity, you just keep bringing your body weight back. So sinking back further into the hips. And we'll stay here for about 5 more deep breaths. Remembering to breathe from belly to chest. You've got about 2 more breaths. Guiding the awareness down to anywhere that feels particularly tense. And then slowly bring your body weight forward again. So you'll be beginning to sort of come back onto the forearms and sort of sinking out of the hips. And then eventually sort of pressing the legs closer together and easing back up for our final back bend. So we'll start in Seiza. Bring your hands to your heart, close down your eyes, witness the effects. You're in this kneeling Seiza position. Take another big breath in as you just contemplate anything you're grateful for today. Anything that invokes or invigorates that feeling or energy of love within your heart. Who or what are you grateful for? Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a place. Maybe it's something as simple as an element in nature, the sunshine or the blue skies. And then bring your hands either to your lower back once again for a supported variation of Camel Uttanasana, or one by one you take your hands to your heels, your throat sort of opens, your chest and your heart space is sort of leading the way, magnetized, keeping that contemplation of gratitude. Take 3 more breaths here. Breathing in, your glutes can be active, feeling this full opening along that front line of your body. And breathing out. Taking 2 more breaths in, out. Last one, breathing in and out. To exit this shape, you're going to tuck the chin to the chest, bring your hands back to the lower back, and then settle back into your kneeling Seiza. Bring your hands to your heart, close your eyes down, witness the effect, witness the energy, this prana moving through your body. Witness what's present for you here. Continue to breathe and let go of any energy, any stagnant energy in the way, anything that might be blocking you from the energy of your heart today. Let it move in and move out, almost like a wave as it just rushes in and rushes out, washing away any debris, any heavy energy that's lingering throughout the body, your heart space or your energy levels, your mind. From here, we're moving into melting heart. You're welcome to take a single arm variation, which I'm demonstrating now, where the head sort of rests on one forearm and you extend the other arm, or you can extend both arms. The forehead meets the mat and it resembles a puppy dog's play bow. Sometimes this pose is titled puppy dog. Sit bones ascend high. To take the deepest variation, your chin actually tucks through towards the chest. So you've got this opening through the throat and heart space with both arms extended or just one arm. Now, if you did go for the single arm variation, you might like to switch it up. So swapping the other arm, extending it out, bringing the other forearm in. Otherwise, just hanging here in the double arm variation for a few more breaths. It's quite a nice throat and heart opening stretch. It activates the throat chakra, your communication center, helping you to communicate clearly and better and speak your truth with clarity, and confidence. And it also just helps you to connect to your heart space, to all the things that bring you joy, all that brings you gratitude, all that you're grateful for, all that really matters. So begin to ease slowly out of that one. And then we will come down onto our bellies and take a round of cobra. So pressing up, lifting out of the shoulders, opening up the throat. You might even like to create this little circuit from the top of the head to your feet as you bend the knees in cobra. And imagine there's like a circuit of energy connected to your toes and through to the head. Release yourself from the cobra, but keep your knees bent, and then reach back to see if you can catch the ankles or the front of the feet themselves, preparing for your bow pose. So big breath in, activate the lower back, and begin to peel your chest up off the mat and getting as much as into that back bend as you can. Once your chest is elevated and the back extensors are on, press your feet into your hands, and you might be able to lift up higher and higher and eventually get even a bit of a rock and roll sensation. Keep pressing those feet, keep breathing into your chest, keep breathing into the lungs. You're almost there. Big breath in. And then exhale, ease on out. Moving into open wing. So this one, take the left hand underneath the line of the left shoulder as you cactus the right arm, or straighten the right palm in line with the right shoulder and roll over to the right as you wrap the left knee over towards the right side with the right leg extended. So this should predominantly feel like a shoulder opening stretch, but you might feel it in the lower back or the hips, particularly if you've wrapped that left knee over to the right. The foot might hover in the air on the left side, it might ground. All of that is fine either way. Just taking yourself to your edge, not beyond it. We'll then roll back through center and do the same thing on the second side. So cactusing, create an L shape in the left forearm, press into the right fingertips and wrap the right leg over to the left side, keeping the left leg straight, feeling that shoulder stretch first, maybe the hip opener, maybe the lower back stretch second. And just keep breathing deeply, knowing to take yourself to about 70% of the stretch or your edge. Another way of knowing with stretching is just moving to the place where you can maintain the breath. If you tend to lose the breath, it's a sign you might have gone too far. I'm going to roll back and take 3 rounds of cobra. So you can take a traditional cobra or come up onto the fingertips this round. Keep the elbows a little wider than your mat and then lowering slowly down. Breathe in, we'll do that again. Fingertips wide on the mat, easing up. So activate the lower back, opening up the throat, opening up the heart space, witnessing the extensors in the lower back incrementally working. And then we ease our way down. Last round of this variation of wide Hasta Bandha finger cobra, fingertips wide, back extensors on, lifting out of the shoulders, opening the throat, and easing slowly back down into that lying position on your belly. If you'd like to take one more round, go for it. Bending the knees in this round, creating that circuit again from the top of the head to the tips of the toes, easing down. And then we'll press back up, finding another downward facing dog. Deepening the breath, deepening your stretch, deepening your connection to your body, your energy, and your heart. From here, jump forward so the feet find their way into yogi squat and then just lengthen them ahead. Paschimottanasana, your forward fold. The hands sweep up above the line of your shoulders and your feet are together, extended in front of you. Hinge from your hips and maybe you catch the big toes, maybe you don't. Focus on leading from your hips and heart space. So try to create that upward facing dog back bend sort of sensation in your chest rather than hunching your shoulders. You might feel this as a nice hamstring stretch, back of the legs, but trying not to force it, maintaining that alignment where the hips are leading the way as much as you can. Easing out of the shape, and then we'll just find our way down onto our backs to finish with just a few more back bends. So we're going to take a bridge pose to start. So activate your glutes, elevate your hips, and then as your hips lift up, catch a bind with your fingertips, draw your shoulder blades together. Keep activating those glutes, ground through the big toes and heels, or come right up onto the tippy toes. As you rise up from there, you might just maintain that, or if you'd like to go all the way, release your hands, bring the fingertips up towards your ears, and go from bridge to Urdhva Dhanurasana, your full wheel. Taking about 3 more breaths in the back bend of your choice, whether you've maintained bridge or wheel, doesn't matter. Keep your focus on your heart, gratitude on the mind. On your third breath, come back down from your back bend. Bring your big toes to meet, butterfly your knees wide, and take one hand towards your heart and the other towards your belly. Close your eyes. Witness the effect. Witnessing whatever is present for you now. The insights, the perspective, this intuitive part of yourself that actually has the answers you seek, that knows. This aspect of yourself that is present, that is steady, that is peaceful, that is grounded, that has the clarity beyond the chaos of the mind or the noise of the outside world. Coming back to this inner stability that resides within, this inner essence. Coming back to that intention you may have created in the beginning, coming back to the energy of your heart towards whatever you're grateful for today. And with that contemplation, that last closing thought, you can ground and relax your legs long and just rest for the next few minutes now in Shavasana relaxation. You've made it to the end. Sweeping your arms long and above overhead and taking a deep breath in and a long emptying breath out. Bringing your awareness back, feeling your fingertips, feeling your toes. And then just slowly in your time, make your way back up to a seated upright position of any variety. And as you find your seat will come to close. So you can bring both hands to your heart space. Close your eyes down. Take a deep, grateful breath in. A long, emptying breath out. Another big breath in. And exhale, bow. That is us complete.